Hello everybody and Carlos Sirthate to a brand new episode. I'm babifly and today I bring you some rather exciting news. I do apologize for interrupting any sort of videos, any sort of video series that we are going with, but today I got a message that I've been chosen by Amplitude Studios to participate in the OpenDev of Humankind. And needless to say that I was really excited about that. I'm such a huge Civilization 6 fan, and I'm also a huge fan of all the games from Amplitude Studios. All the endless titles from Endless Space to Endless Space 2, Endless Legends, and Dungeons of the Endless, and what's on and what's so forth. And and as soon as I got the message, I was really excited. I was super hyped. So I thought that, you know what? I'm gonna go with a video. I'm gonna shoot a video and uh, play that OpenDev with you and see how Humankind is. So in the OpenDev of Humankind, we are given the chance to play a particular scenario, and that is the Towers of Babylon that you see here. And in this scenario, we get to build up the city of Babylon into a bustling center. So we'll get to see how the game is, how it plays out, some early stages of the game. Let me also tell you that this is the pre-alpha version. Almost none of what you see here corresponds to the final product. And yeah, without further ado, let's step right into it. So before clicking it, it says discovery, small steps, growth. Standing at the center of civilization, Babylon is, was, and always will be one of the greatest cities the world has ever seen. It's your turn to write a chapter in this glorious history. How will you be remembered? The completion time estimation is 45 minutes. In case that happens, I might break the video into two different parts. So the Towers of Babylon, the current era is classical. And let's start. Let's see. So, Towers of Babylon, we got that pop-up message telling us the first things. Let me tell you how the story of this glorious city, how it began, how it expanded, how it thrived. Long ago, Babylon was little more than a dusty square and a smattering of market stalls, but its people had big dreams. Grow Babylon, explore its environs, and settle new lands. Expand and fortify the city. The fate of Babylon is in your hands. Our objective is to raise a great city of many souls protected by many armies and whose influence stretches into new lands. Understood. So I've played this game once. I've played this scenario a couple of times, and it's rather easy. It's relatively simple. It just gives you 30 turns to play with, and find out more things about the game on its own. So if you're familiar with the Endless series, as in Endless Legends, you're given control of various armies as well as your own city. So this is the city of Babylon. If we zoom in, we see it like that, and then by clicking on the city, you get a different pop-up screen. So the UI is quite good. What I actually did was I zoomed everything in because my display was a bit odd, behaved a bit erratically, so I had to zoom most of the things in. But what you get to see here is pretty much detailed here, so it's okay. So let's play. Let's see. Uh, Everything looks really familiar. You got your resource output, you got your construction queue here, your choice of construction buildings and everything. You've got the meters, you've got stability, food industry, money, and science. You got your gold output, and there are some extra things that you haven't seen in previous games. For example, there are no heroes anymore in the game. However, these have been replaced by these personas here, the administrators and the generals. Should you have an administrator, you can use that person to actually perform many administrative tasks in your city. With that in mind, you can unlock many different things. And these generals are actually an indication of how many army, different armies you can have, which is also helpful because many armies many soldiers can create different armies, and you can use up to we can use up to 19 here, which is a huge number, let me tell you. So first and foremost, let's see, do we want to build something? I guess so. As the Babylonians, let's click here. As the Babylonians, we have everything is not available. Almost virtually nothing is available for this scenario. However, it's quite easy to see that here are we. Here is a Babylonian person, and here we got three different features from the Babylonian civilization. So first and foremost, we are a scientist-driven civilization, and therefore we have the gameplay orientation focus of science. We can set our cities into science mode, and during that mode, all the industry and money will be converted into science. Sweet, right? And the mode lasts for at least 5 turns, but then you are given a chance to toggle it off. We'll be doing that later on, and you'll get to see precisely what that is all about. Then the Babylonians have the astronomy house. It says great astronomers and adept mathematicians, Babylonian priests work in temples to understand and predict planetary movements. From what you see here, that particular building gives us a resource exploitation in both food and science, which means that if we actually click that on a particular land producing something else other than food or science, this particular resource will just be negated for that tile. So we need to make sure that we place the astronomy house on a particular hex producing food or science or even both, because we don't want to lose many things. And here we got the Babylonian particular unit, the Sabu Sakwasti, I think that's how it's called. As levy recruits, Sabu Sakwasti are armed and trained to fight in exchange for access to temple-owned land, because Babylon initially was a much more of a scientific religious city-state back then, and these people actually fought for access to the temple-owned land. Cool, sweet. So since we saw everything here, so we can actually choose what to produce, what to construct with Babylon. Right now, from what you see, we got the city of Babylon is nested on a really nice cliff, producing all these things. However, all around us, we get these resources. So it's a nice combination of Endless Legend, which came first, and Civilization 6, which followed after. If you choose to build something, let's say, for example, the Maker's Quarter, then you're given a chance to plot it somewhere around your city and not too far away. When I say too far, I mean not two or more spaces away from the original city. And you can plug it somewhere, and this will unlock the nearby tiles as well. However, see here, this district produces production. Okay, so if we put it somewhere with food, for example, over here, we'll be losing the two production. We'll be losing the two food, I'm sorry. If we put it here, we'll be losing the two food. So we don't want to actually place that there. So it's not actually a good idea to place that there right now. So if we, for example, if we choose to place it here, the game suggests that we place it here because it gives us +9 of production, because it will unlock these two tiles. 3 plus 5 equals 8, +1 from the building equals 9. And all in total will be given 9. Okay, so let's put it here, because I want to produce something with the Maker's Quarter so as to be able to have much more production in order to produce much more things. This is how the way it goes, right? Okay, let's zoom out. Let's see what we got. From what you get, you see here the map is quite interesting. It's quite limited because it's that scenario. But on the map, each and every the map is actually divided into various different areas. And right now we have settled here in the city of Babylon in that particular area. If we want to visit somewhere nearby, we can do so with our units, with our armies. However, in order to be able to populate that with a city, we need to set up an outpost. Let's do that. Let's see. We're moving over there. Do you see that? That's a point of interest, like the temples in Endless Legends. If we visit that, we will be able to reap a reward, to find something. And it also reminds me a lot of the civilization huts. So let's go over there.
Understood.
The music and the speech are also good, by the way. I've turned everything quite low so as not to confuse you while we're playing. So we found something and we got some extra science in advance, right? So let's click on our science here. Let's choose something to research, a technology. See here in this area that we have here, this area here, this one over there, has two different resources. The first one is salt. Salt provides 2 food and 5 stability for each salt that we take advantage of. In order to be able to do that, we definitely need to set up an outpost. So do you see that here? That's claiming a territory. If we do that, it will consume all of our army's movement points, as in those two people's movement points, and we can place it somewhere within range, right? Because we have 1 movement point left. If we do so, for example, here, we will be able to take all of the other resources as soon as we make that a city. However, if we put that here, then we'll be getting, will we be get, here we'll be getting some money, here we'll be getting more food, but I really want to go with food. So the best place to actually place it would be here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna forego the chance of building an outpost right now, and I'm gonna move over here. Because even though it looks adjacent, we cannot move over there because there is some sort of height difference. So we need to go down to the lowlands and get access to that savanna over there. Cool. It's really like Endless Legend, and it's so easy to understand and so helpful. So before we proceed further, we need to actually set up some research. And here we got 4 different choices. However, if we go to the technology screen, we get to see the the technologies that we can research from the ancient times to the classical era. And obviously, we cannot research something that hasn't yet been unlocked. So, first and foremost, as a Babylonian person, as the player of Babylon, I want to actually go for the calendar. Mhm. I know that there is no reason for me right now to build a research quarter because we already have our own research building. However, following that, we can get to writing, and writing is quite crucial in the game. So let's go for a calendar. Now that they are living in permanent settlements, villagers want to track the changes of the seasons and organize the planting of crops. It's gonna need 50 science points, and I think we already got some when we found that point of interest back then. So that's pretty much it. Let's end our turn and see what the next turn brings. Here in the UI, you see that we have 3 different toggles. This one toggles a hexagonal map, which is really useful. It is actually useful for me, so I'm gonna keep it as is, keep it on. This one shows or hides the output of the tiles, which is really good when you want to look at something without needing to actually, scour for it and search everything over there. And this one shows or hides the primary type of output, food, industry, money, or science generated by a quarter. So if I actually build a quarter there, this one will focus heavily on that particular quarter, like here. Okay, so let's turn this off because I'm not fond of having too many icons around. Let's proceed. We have an idle army and we want to reach that place here, right? This one will help me right now. So if I want to go like that, I want to keep the 5 industry output. So I want to build to claim this territory and place it here. Cool. So now we've set up a small outpost. Do you see the outpost here? Later on, I'm gonna zoom in and be able to show you that there are people moving and animals as well. So it feels quite of a vibrant place, and the music is also so serene, so helpful. The score is so good. I'm really looking forward into playing the game further. I really like it. So after building that, we expend all of our action points. However, this construction will take 2 turns. Okay, it will take 2 turns for us, and as soon as when it's ready, it will give us the chance to actually interact with these resources here. Okay, so let's end the turn. We got 27 turns left. It's a rather short scenario. It's gonna be a really short run through. However, it's gonna show you how the game moves and breathes, and it feels so nice. It's so great, especially if you're into civilization games. So if you see here, you can see herds moving here in the landscape. You can also see some lions here and zebras, I guess. But in the city, you can see some people moving around. Or not yet. I think we need to build the district first, and then we'll be able to see it clearly. Okie dokie, so let's move with our army. Let's move north, further north, shall we?
Come over here.
Cool. I'm gonna move one per tile, because it's actually really helpful in case I notice a point of interest. So if I hover over a specific terrain, you can see that there is a movement cost for exiting that tile. So for example, if I want to exit that tile, I need to spend 1 point. If I'm here and I need to exit that tile, I need to spend 2 instead. I think so, from what I've played in so far. So let's see. If I want to move outside, oh, I can do that. Okay, so I don't know what the movement cost is then, if that's the case. So if I move from forest to forest, okay, I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna look much more into this. Okay, so yeah, okay, let's end our turn. The game is pretty much straightforward. For the beginning, you see here that the terra incognita is really grayed out, so I don't know whether it's a high or low level.
Let's do it.
An elevated terrain or not, so let's move. See, we found some horses. You see that? It's quite interesting. Here is a pond. In these water spaces here, we can find animals. And here, it's so thematic. It feels so well tied to the geography and landscaping of true Earth. Actually, you can understand that in this watering hole, we can find some horses to tame as soon as we research husbandry. Okay, so here we need. We're actually yeah. Oh. So in order to be able to move into a particular space, you need to spend that many movement points. Not when exiting, only when entering. So for example, if I want to move over there, I'm gonna spend 2 points, right? Yes, let's see. No, I spent only 1. I don't know what that was for. Okay, I really want to avoid that. Oh no, I shouldn't avoid hunting that animal. Do you know why not? Because if I want to go around, it will take me much more turns. Besides, I can go over there. Okay, do you know what? Moose, deer, whatever you are, your life has been spared by the powers of random landscaping here and there. So okay, we visited a place and it was an old fort, so we got 5 coins, and we found ourselves a sanctuary. We need to go there, and once we do, wow, see the mammoth over there. So as soon as we get to the sanctuary, I'm gonna explain to you what's happening. So cool, moving there. Let's move around. Let's waste some movement here and there. This is the sanctuary here. Okay, so I've got 1 army action left. So I want to ransack the sanctuary. Ransacking allows me to destroy that. And you see that symbol here? It indicates that it produces units that are peaceful, but in the game, the peaceful units are the animals, so we won't be encountering any other civilizations. However, by ransacking, we get 22 gold, which is really helpful. However, it shows that human the human factor can actually contribute into the kind of defacing of some natural resources of the planet. So it might send a wrong message. However, it's what the humans did in the very first place. They ransacked the place just to avoid having any further hunters coming out of there again. Cool. So in Babylon, we managed to have built the were we building the maker's quarter? Yes, we were. So if you check on here, you can see people moving on the street. This is a maker's quarter. You can understand that from the color. And now let's pick something else. So the astronomy house gives us science per adjacent farmer's quarter. So we need to build a farmer's quarter. But we have built a maker's quarter. And these are the districts. The districts, you can understand that you're building a district from the hexagonal shape around the icon. However, if it's a square, it's not a district. It's something that is built in the city and just gives you a bonus, like like in Civilization 6 and the Endless series. It's the same thing happening. So if I build the millstone, I'm gonna get +4 food per number of territories. When it says territories, I think it means city center and districts. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't tried this out, and it doesn't say here either. What about tanning racks? +2 money per number of territories. This gives +4 food. I don't need any of those two right now because I need a farmer's quarter for my astronomy house. So a farmer's quarter it is. Let's see. Is there any science output around? No, there isn't any, I'm afraid. So in that case, I'm actually gonna go for this place. Because if I go here, I'll be losing the industry resource. So I'm gonna go here, and I'll be getting 7, which is great. Because the farmer's quarter actually reaps the food from these adjacent tiles as well, which is good. Let's end our turn and proceed to turn 7. So we researched the calendar. Now that they are living in permanent settlements, villagers want to track the changes of the seasons and organize the planting of crops, which sounds like a legitimate solution. So we can build a research quarter, we can build a commons quarter, getting more stability and influence, or we can build a granary. Again, the granary is something that can be built in the city. It's not a district whatsoever. So now, what to do, what to get? Do you remember that here we found a resource that we cannot reap? It's copper. In order to be able to get the copper, we need to research that particular science that takes that exploits it, that uses it. But if we go for domestication, it's going to boost our farmer's quarter, as well as will be giving us access to the horses. There are so many interesting things that I want to do, that I want to research. But you know what? I'm gonna go for domestication of the horses. Okay. Now it's a really I'll be needing a bit more of population, and then I'll show you how this works, how our ability works, our special ability. Okay, so we got our pop-ups here. This is done. The ransack has been successful, so we got 22 gold, and now we are free to go, free to move on. So what about this place? This place has no resources right now. Let's search this one down there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we found another sanctuary. However, since we'll be losing much more crucial time, I think we're gonna divide our armies into 2. So I'm gonna place this scout into a brand new army. See, we've got 19 generals, and right now we're already occupying just 1, because because uh, we just have one army, which means that one of our generals is only used. So if I click that and choose
Yes.
to go there, I'm using a second general. So from the 20 generals that I have available, I'm using 2 right now. So in a sense, you can have up to 20 different units moving out and about. Mhm. This one has already used his movement, so I'm gonna go
Come over
here.
here.
I found a sanctuary here as well as a point of interest, and I'm gonna explore it as soon as we are done. And turn. See, there was some there is a moose here, a deer, moving about. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's
Let's go.
get into that point of interest. However, since this is a sanctuary, I'll need to ransack this. There's no need, but if I do, I'm gonna get extra money. So right now I don't have any problem or any qualms doing that. Okay, here in this place we found extra salt, which might actually
We're
be a
just
good
fine.
choice. And horses. It might actually be a good choice for us to pop a new outpost. I wonder. Do you know what? I'm gonna put it here because it looks quite promising. Perfect. So we got a second outpost here. You see the road here moving all the way to the other outpost, and this connects us with our main city. It feels really well done. It feels really neat, really tidy, really good. If you remember, we've already set up an outpost here. However, it looks like the outposts won't be attacked by any peaceful armies. These outposts can really help us with the exploitation of particular resources. So if we select build an artisan's quarter here, where is it? Here, in the salt territory, in the territory with the salt, we're gonna be able to extract the luxury resource and get some money per adjacent market. Yeah, uh, we'll be able to get some resources as well. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me double check that. It says specialist craftsman harvest nature. Yeah, effects +1 money per adjacent market quarter. Extracts any luxury resource from the deposit it's built on. Must be placed on a luxury resource deposit. Like in the other endless games, I think it's gonna unlock us the salt resource here. So let's try it. We need to spend 70 gold for that. And yes, that's right. Seasoned food adds flavor, but salt's greater secret is in its powers of preservation, which is so true. On all cities, we get +2 food and +5 stability, and this directly influences Babylon's output. Cool. What else do we have here? Uh, oh, we got more people, more power. We got a population unit. Cool. And what else? The ransack has been successful. Let's go to our 2 idle armies. So this one's gonna move further down. Here we also have horses, and since we're searching for husbandry, yeah, for domestication, it will actually be helpful to have an outpost here. So let's move over there. Oh, we found a point of interest.
I'm on it.
Okay, let's claim this territory as well. We need 80 money for that. Cool. Okay, now it makes sense why we won't spam build the outposts here and there. And it looks like it's built on a higher ground. Okay. Okay, what about here? Let's move over
Here
there.
we go.
Perfect, we found 5 science. Cool. This will actually boost our science a bit, which is great. And what else? What can we do? Let's zoom out. Shall we go over there? Yes, let's go over there. Let's carry on with our movement. Oh, we found a point of interest here. Fantastic. So we researched domestication. The taming and breeding of wild animals such as pigs and buffalo bring new means of eating and working. It unlocks for us the horses resource, and it gives us the ability to build animal barns. However, we need to set up a brand new research. Should we go for carpentry so that we're able to clear forests and everything? I wonder. Yes, I'm gonna do this. Fantastic. And I'm gonna carry on exploring here and there. So should we find? Oh no, we can't fight the deer because it's quite powerful, isn't it? Perfect. Let's move here on top. We got 10 gold. Good thing if you ask me. Let's carry on with our exploration. Move over there. Perfect. So what next? We have, what's that notification about? Ah, yeah, it's research. Okay, let's see what to build next in Babylon. So see how Babylon starts to spread out. Here we got the farmer's quarter. Okay, so the buildings look the same. The building color looks the same. Okay, so we can tell which one is which. But it's okay. So let's build the astronomy house. We definitely need that. Hmm? Yes, so it gives us 2 food per researcher, plus 2 science per adjacent farmer's quarter, plus 1 researcher slot on this settlement. See, our slots here are 2. These slots, I think that these slots can be raised with an administrator. Um, I'm not 100% sure because we don't use the administration much here. Ah, this city is administered, removing all penalties from not being administered and enabling you to build units. That's what it actually does. So let's build an astronomy house. Again, it exploits 2 resources, food and science. We're not, we don't have any qualms about science. It says extension construction, like in civilization. Quarters must be placed adjacent to an existing one that will exploit all of the adjacent unbuilt tiles. Please note the synergies. This means that at least one unbuilt adjacent tile will augment your new quarters production. Yeah, it makes sense. So if we build it here, it's going to be adjacent to the farmer's quarter. If we build it here, we're going to get +4 to food, +2 to research, because here we're going to get access to... Oh no, okay. Here we'll be getting +2, +2. No, here it won't be helpful at all. Yeah, here we're gonna get access to this tile here. Here we're gonna get access to these 2 tiles here. We'll be losing 2 of our industry to get much more of our food. But I'm not willing to do that much, so I'm gonna go. No, you know what? I'm gonna do it actually. Let's do this. Let's build an astronomy house here. Cool. So we are done and we're ready to end our turn. However, I think it's a nice time to actually wrap everything up. This is going to be the end of the first episode. The second episode is coming straight the next day. So today I'm going to post this episode. Tomorrow the second episode will go online. And on the second episode, we're going to find out much more niceties, including our ability to produce science quite fast, which is really exciting and really good to see. That's it. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you really liked this video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you also wish, feel free to click on the bell button so as to be able to receive any new notification as soon as a new video goes online. Thank you very much for your time and see you next time!